Welcome aboard Free Dive with Seapoint Digital, your go-to podcast for deep dives into the world of digital marketing. I'm Christy.
And I'm Anna Lynn.
Your hosts navigating through the currents of growth, strategy, and innovation in the digital realm.
We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. It's going to be a good time.
Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of the Free Dive podcast. I am your host, Christy Billingsley, and I'm very excited because I have a special guest today, Kayla Sue Roberts. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here today. I have known Kayla for many years. I was so excited that she agreed to be on the podcast. Kayla is going to talk to us today about social media marketing. And I'm going to just kind of let you tell your own story here, Kayla.
Sure.
We've done several series in the past of just cool women in marketing and just kind of the highs and lows of being in marketing. So I was going to kind of pick your brain about the things you love and hate about marketing and also just social media in general, because I personally have such an interest in social media and how awesome and terrible that can be. So I wanted to pick your brain about all of those things. So we can start. I just want to start about a little bit of your history in working in marketing. Can you give us some background on your history in that?
Yeah, I kind of stumbled into marketing right during COVID. I had found myself without work, and someone that I know reached out to me about a marketing coordinator position at a social media marketing agency. And I was like, I think I can do that. And you know what? I didn't really have a lot of options. So I was like, if at the very least, it'll be good experience and I'll see, where it goes. And before you knew it, it was like 6 months in, they were like, we want to promote you to social media manager. And I said, okay, that's great. And I just have been ever since taking in as much knowledge as I can. I did not go to college. I do not have any sort of, education behind me or marketing degree. So just getting that hands-on experience is something that I've tried to take advantage of. And the agency that I work for, we do a lot more than just social media marketing, of course. So I've been able to really, network and get my hands in on multiple different things, PR side of things, and really where my strongest interest lies is in the influencer creator marketing side of things. Yeah. And even more specifically in the gaming industry.
Okay.
So, gaming is a big interest of mine. It hasn't always been, but you know what? You pick up new hobbies throughout your life, and
especially during COVID.
That's exactly what happened. And, so right now I'm a freelancer. So I have several different clients in the gaming and esports industry. And that's where that's where my passion is. That's where I really thrive. So yeah, just building up that own clientele has been a journey and, definitely come with challenges. But it's very rewarding. I mean, I love being able to work for myself and, again, kind of cherry pick the clients that I want to work with too.
Yeah.
I'm working with these great companies and people in the space that I live and breathe of gaming. So it's been really, really rewarding.
Yeah. That just brought up so many questions for me.
Yeah.
I guess the first being you're talking about not, you didn't go to traditional schooling for this. You taught a lot yourself and you networked. How did you figure out how to do that? How did you find resources and education for yourself? Because sometimes people think, well, everyone knows how to use social media. Everyone has social media, but it's not like that when you're doing it professionally and especially for someone else's business. So how did you figure out how to teach yourself and how did you figure out how to network?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned a lot from some really great people at my marketing agency that were, senior to me, and just was honest with them, like, hey, this is new to me, but I bring A, B, and C to the table. A, B, and C is I have a really strong background in sales. I worked in corporate banking for 6 years before I got into the marketing field. So really marketing is all about selling in the
Yes.
end. So I have that just like innate ability to sell ice to an Eskimo. So that's been something that has really kind of helped propel me because, yeah, I don't come with the fancy marketing degree or anything, but I do come with some really innate skills that are hard to teach and
Yeah.
some of them impossible to teach. So I've tried to take advantage of that. And again, just learning from people around me and also just taking advantage of a lot of free education out there. I know this might come with some stigmas or whatever, but YouTube University has been
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
Yeah.
It really has. And just honestly watching with social media especially, because it's ever changing, nobody knows everything about it, right? We're all trying to figure out the algorithms on our own. um, you know Looking and deep diving into the analytics behind these accounts that I'm seeing that are successful. And I'm like, how did they do this? What are they doing that is making them successful? How can I replicate this for my clients?
Yeah.
And that's been really, really helpful is, just being observant and, knowing that the trends are constantly changing. They're going to change with or without you. So you
Mm.
got to do what you can to stay on top of what's going on in the fields.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's great. And you mentioned like getting to cherry pick your clients, and that's something that we've talked about a lot on the podcast and just internally, and how you get to that place where you don't have to work with people that you don't like, you don't really agree with their, you know,
Right.
their vibe, the way that they do their business.
Mhm.
How did you get to that place? How did you find, because that feels really intimidating, like figuring out
Mm.
how to find clients, especially when you're working freelance. You
Mhm.
rely on having a certain amount of clients, so how did you find clients? How did you find the right
Yeah.
clients?
So because gaming is very niche and everything, that's what makes it great trying to find your own clients in that market is because, I bring knowledge and skill set to the table that, is a little bit harder to find. So there's not a lot of competition. Like the people that are in competition with me know nothing about gaming, but I do.
Yeah.
So that works.
Okay.
But networking through, you need to know where your target client is. And for me, that's Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter is huge in the gaming industry. People use it almost like a LinkedIn. So I've just kind of made a little presence for myself there in those communities that I want to, target clients in, and just tried to build up my portfolio from there. I've also had a couple really good mentors in the esports and gaming space that have, helped me out with, hey, I know this person, they're, doing this, A, B, and C. They might need someone to help them with this. And I've worn a lot of hats with some of the different contracts that I've gotten. Like for example, I have one esports organization where I solely write blogs for their website. You
Okay.
know, writing might not be my favorite thing that I do with social media marketing, but having that client, which is a very big name client in the space, has helped me get other clients. Right. So I've
Mm,
been able to say, yeah, I work for this giant esports organization. And they say, okay, that's amazing. And it just builds up that credibility. You know what I mean? Sometimes I
right.
feel like you do have to take maybe some gigs or jobs that aren't your favorite, or, you might even get paid very little,
Yeah.
but the experience and the, note on your resume is where the value lies. So yeah, just trying to network myself and almost know that every time I post on Twitter, it's kind of an ad for people know, like in the gaming community, the very niche side of the gaming community that I'm in. They know my name, they know what I do, and it's all due to just, my own social media marketing, because you got to market yourself. So
And that was my next question. So it sounds like there's probably quite a bit of time that you have to spend maintaining your own social media in order to stay relevant for your clients. Is that true?
yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. And I feel like I'm probably like a lot of people where I go through highs and lows of motivation in that regard. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I could sign 5 new clients this month. Like if I really put my mind to it, I could do it. And I've had times before where that has happened.
Yeah.
But then, there's other months where I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to sit back and I'm happy with what I got on my plate right now. But as a freelancer, you kind of have to always be looking at who the next client is,
Yeah. Yeah.
because things change in the drop of a hat. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, spending whatever time you can on your own, building up your own brand has been helpful. It's hard to do so though sometimes when you've got a lot on your plate. But
Yeah. And that is kind of it's provoking another question for me. It sounds like you have to do a wide array of different kind of things. You were talking about writing. You kind of would have to know all the social media platforms. Are you doing more? Are you doing any kind of like website work? Are you doing anything else or are you just
I've
kind of
done
sticking?
Yeah, I've done some website development. It's not my strength. It's not I don't actively go out and seek out those type of clients or gigs, but what I've found, back to the influencer creator side of things, that's what I really enjoy is so let me give you an example. You know, streamers play games on Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
and that's huge. Um, Fortnite, I'm not sure if you've heard of Fortnite,
Yep.
the
Yep.
video game.
Yep.
It's very big right now because they've launched a program essentially where people can publish their own games on the Fortnite platform, and people can play them. There are hundreds of millions of players each month that visit Fortnite and play Fortnite. So you can market your games to this free player base, basically. So what's happening, and I really feel like it's just getting started, but brands are catching on to this and they're saying, wow, this is great. Okay, our target demographic is people between the ages of 18 and 24. They're playing this video game. I can reach hundreds of millions of people through marketing my game
Mm.
in Fortnite and my brand to them. So they're actively looking for creators to play their games on stream, which then gives them all of that exposure. But they don't necessarily know which streamers are best for them or
Yeah.
best for their brand. I am very well immersed in the streaming community. I know, all the big names and, what their strength, what their audience likes.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you don't want to just throw money at any streamer just because they have views.
Right.
Might not be your target demographic for your brand.
Mm-hmm.
But in that influencer marketing side of things, I'm able to identify who the best streamers would be for them to work with, and why.
Interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah, it is very
you kind of
interesting.
have to kind of keep up to date with the scene and who's
Mhm.
on it and what's going on and who's relevant. So
Yeah,
that alone is work in itself, huh?
it is. But because it's something I'm interested in,
Yeah.
it just is. I know this stuff anyway. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going to be following these streamers anyway. So
Yeah.
now I'm using it to bring value to the table.
Yeah. And so do you get burnt out on just using social media in general because
Yeah.
you enjoy it for yourself, you have to do it for work?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I I honestly woke up like last week and I woke up and I was like, I actually really hate social media.
Yeah.
I really hate it.
Yes.
What am I like? I don't like it. But I love marketing and I love all the things I've learned and I love, different parts, but I'm like, social media is terrible right now.
Yeah.
And it's probably also the time of year and everything that's going
Yes.
on in the world, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But it can be a really dark and sad place.
Yeah.
And to have to spend so much time on it, especially with just having a client where you manage their social media. I'm on
Mm.
6 different platforms a day posting for them, and that's a lot. And then on top of that, just trying to stay up with everything that's going on in the gaming scene, and then
Mhm.
also keeping up on my own social media,
Yep.
you get burnt out. And that's why I'm really trying to make more of a focus on just the parts of social media marketing that I really enjoy,
Mm.
and uh, you got to do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy. And I've always been very well aware of like, okay, if I wake up in the morning day after day and I'm not excited to get to work, I'm, not feeling fulfilled, I know when it's time to move on and kind of
Make a change.
make a change. And I'm not afraid to do that. I've taken a lot of risks over the years with my career, so before I started in marketing, I had started an event planning business. It was going really well. I was able to quit my full-time banking job
Yeah.
to run this event planning business, and then COVID hit. So what I knew when, I was like, okay, I'm going to take this risk. Like, I'm going to see where these events go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's going to, end in a year or two, but I'm going to learn along the way. I learned a lot with the event planning. Um, and it just adds to your skill set. You just have to be always prepared for the next opportunity, what might happen, and just take it as they go. I've just never been afraid to take, risks, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like that's probably really helped the ability to just kind of stay calm, make a
Mhm.
change, know that something different will come.
Yeah.
And
Trusting in yourself. Yeah.
social media, there's always change. So
Oh, I know.
everything's constant, and that annoys me very often. Just
I know.
how often you have to keep up with the change. And going back to what you were saying about burnout, I feel like that all the time. Like there's times with my personal social media, like I just want to, there's times I'm just like, I want to be able to delete all these apps off my phone for myself.
Yes.
I want to be able to deactivate my Instagram for a while, deactivate my TikTok for a while, and just disappear. And I can't because
Right.
I run our social medias, and I very often I want to disappear completely, go off the grid. No one know what's going on with my life, and I can't because
You
I
literally
have to
can't.
put my face on C
Yeah.
Points. It's Instagram, and that just sucks sometimes because I'm
It
just like,
does.
man, I literally cannot escape because it's my work.
It
Like,
is.
is
I
that how
know.
you sometimes feel?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even when I go on vacation, I still have to post for
Yes.
my clients. Like,
Yes.
it's not like you can just be like, hey, I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
nope, I'm still going to post for,
Yep.
and
On vacation,
I
I'm
can't even disconnect,
keeping
even
up with
on
the
vacation.
comments. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
I
So
know.
you said that you like to just lean into the parts of it that you enjoy, make you happy.
Yeah.
What are the parts that you enjoy and make you happy?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just like a natural salesperson. I just always have been ever since I was a kid. I would do commercials and, just try to sell anything. I mean, I always had a lemonade stand every summer. Like it was like I have an entrepreneurial drive in me.
I remember
Um,
you being on that car commercial.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep.
Throwback.
Yep.
Yeah, I just always have been just like a natural salesperson, I guess. So what interests me about, marketing is I love thinking about, getting inside the mind of who the brand's target customer is.
Yeah.
If I'm that target customer, how do I want to be sold to? How do I want to be marketed to? And then, flipping the strategy in that way. I really like the creative, strategic side of marketing. Uh, I think that would be definitely my favorite. I love copywriting. That's fun, and that's
Yeah.
part of it. You know what I mean? Is you know, being able to write compelling copy where you're selling and they don't even know they're being sold to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's fun for me. Um, yeah, yeah. I guess that would be a couple of main ones there.
Is there any like looking back in past, like the recent past or long ago, like the certain like campaign or a certain job that you've done that like has really stuck out that you really loved or that you're really
Yeah.
proud of?
So, one of my clients is a all women's gaming association,
Mm-hmm.
and we just wrapped up the largest Fortnite live tournament last weekend. I was part of the whole project, which was really great because this esports organization didn't have someone on their team that knew enough about Fortnite, which that was the game. They didn't know enough about Fortnite to pitch this tournament to big brands such as Dove, Cash App.
Mm.
Um, and so they brought me on. They knew, again, I think a lot from my self marketing on Twitter of myself. They said, this girl knows what's going on. Let's get in contact with her. So they brought me on as a consultant to basically come up with the tournament structure, come up with the ideas that we would pitch to the brands. Because again, this was an idea behind making a game in Fortnite that was branded.
Mhm.
So opportunities for the brand to reach hundreds of millions of players.
Mhm.
Um, so I got to provide a lot of creative direction on that. They actually like fully trusted me with these pitches. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Like, yeah, I can do this. You know
Mhm.
what? Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it.
Oh,
You
for
really
sure.
do. You
For
really do.
sure.
And especially, I know I don't come with a fancy marketing degree, but
Uh-huh.
I have experience. I have a lot to bring to the table. And
Uh-huh.
as long as I go into those meetings knowing that
Yeah.
and having that confidence behind me, no one would even know that I don't have a marketing degree.
Yeah.
So, okay, like they
Yeah.
wouldn't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's been really great. So that was a historic esports event that ended up happening. It all wrapped up last weekend. And it was great because it was all about women in gaming and empowering these women players.
Yeah.
Because again, it's really underrepresented in the esports and gaming space. So that was really, really fulfilling.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that sounds cool. Especially just like working like for other women. Like sometimes like that's another topic like we've talked about so much this year is just like how I feel like we've gotten further away from it, but just sometimes how women don't get taken quite as seriously. And so being
Right.
able to work with and for women, like, is just extra special. Is that something that you've run into much, like, being a woman working in
Mm.
marketing? Like, do your ideas not get taken as seriously? Or is there
Yes.
anything like that you've run into?
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially in the gaming space,
Oh,
like
okay.
it can be very toxic for women.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, because you are a lot of the gamers are young men that just have not developed a strong respect for women yet, and
Yeah.
they, unfortunately, that just translates into the, um, people that are employed in the gaming space. Um, yeah, I remember I'd signed with one client and um, you know, sharing ideas back and forth. And I couldn't even believe some of like the responses I was getting to my ideas. And then a man would come up with the same exact idea, like a few like lines down the thread. And I'd be like, mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I did say that about 3 emails ago, but okay, let's just
Oh,
and again, I love being in charge of my own clients because I can walk away from any project if I want to.
yes.
You know what I mean? I can have that say of, hey, I'm not feeling respected here.
Yeah.
I don't think that our visions align. Let's
Yeah.
separate the ties. Um, but yeah, it is kind of crazy that still in this day and age, like we're still having to deal with that disparity there with how men and women are treated. It's too bad.
What would you recommend to other, like, especially younger women entering the field of marketing, like how to deal with that kind of thing, how to
Yeah.
kind of push through it?
So I mean, of course, always be respectful, but just don't be afraid to stand up for yourself,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, that's all you have. You got to stand up for yourself. um I've had one client in the past is just a very strong-headed leader, which is fine. I totally get that. Um, but we've gone head to head on some things before where he's been really rude to me or whatever, and I'm just not afraid to politely but also confidently state where I stand on things.
Mhm.
And again, yeah, just advocating for yourself. Like, don't be afraid to, if you feel like you're just getting walked all over, like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's not worth it at the end of the day. And there's so many opportunities out there. I know it can be scary to think like, oh, I don't want to stand up for myself because what if I lose this job, or what if
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
happens? Yeah, that might happen. It
Yeah.
might happen.
Yeah.
But there's something else out there. There
Yeah.
is. There's always going to be another door, another opportunity. It's at the end of the day, it's worth you know, investing in yourself first and caring for your needs first.
Yeah. You don't have to settle for the disrespect or even less than treatment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't deserve that. No one
Yeah.
deserves that. So,
And on a similar but different thread, it had me thinking too. Do you ever? This is how I sometimes feel. So I'm wondering if you sometimes feel working in social media, especially. Do you ever feel like you don't get taken quite as seriously because that's what you do for work? Because people think, oh, you do social media for a job. That's not a real job because everyone does social media. You're just playing for work.
right. Yeah.
Is
I
that ever a
definitely I
feeling?
definitely have felt that before. It's hard sometimes just explaining to people that are outside of our marketing world, like even
Hmm.
what I do or,
Yeah.
what we do. And,
Yeah.
people do have their own ideas of what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also, don't necessarily care too much what people think at
Yes,
the end of
yeah,
the
that's
day.
good.
Can be a good thing and a bad thing about me. I
Yeah,
just don't care.
yeah, when the bankroll's coming in, do you think what you want?
Yeah, it's like you can think what you'd like. I don't really care.
Yeah,
But yeah, and I think it's just, it's just some people just they just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
that's right,
Yeah, yeah.
that's right.
So
Yeah, you're going on Instagram every day, and so you have this perception that, "Oh, well, I do that. I
yeah,
could
I
do
could do
that.
that. Yeah.
I could do that." When you don't understand that there's so much actual work behind it. There's so much
Yeah.
strategy behind it. There really is a process behind
Mhm.
video creation and copywriting and just like every time the
Yeah.
timing of
The
posting,
timing and all of
everything.
that.
There's so much behind it besides just like opening Instagram, opening TikTok,
Yeah,
opening
it's
Twitter.
not as simple. Otherwise everyone would do it for
Right.
sure,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, especially thinking about just the future of marketing, especially thinking about AI, like how are you picturing um, marketing moving into the future? Like, where do you want to put yourself in that future or picture yourself?
So, I don't know how you feel about AI, but I love AI.
I have a lot of opinions. I have for better or for worse.
Better or worse.
Better or worse.
So far, I really love AI.
Good.
Just
Yeah.
because it makes my workflow a lot faster and
Yep.
easier. And for
Yep.
me, being a freelancer, hey, if I can, get more done in less amount of time, that's time is money. So
Yeah.
it's good in that way. I think there's definitely people don't understand that you have to be skilled to use it. You have to understand how to use AI
Yes.
to
Yes.
make it work the right way.
Hmm.
It is funny. Like I love like just scrolling through social media and just watching how many even big name brands are using AI because you can just tell through their copy.
Yeah.
Um, it is kind of crazy because like a lot of these big companies, they are definitely saving money by not necessarily. I mean, you have to still have someone that knows how to use AI to
Hmm.
use AI,
Hmm.
but I'm sure there's a lot of budget cuts that can be found through the use of AI. So it's
Hmm.
interesting to see how some of these bigger brands and everything are using it, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Um, but the future of marketing, I mean, I'm probably biased because again, I'm in the esports and gaming space, but I really think creator and influencer marketing is just the new wave.
Yeah.
Especially, with it's called UEFN, by the way, the program that people are creating these games for Fortnite on. Um, I really feel like it's going to be a huge, huge new wave in marketing because, so for example, this movie came out recently, and as part of that movie's budget, they paid a gaming studio to create a map for them
Mm.
that they can publish in Fortnite, a whole branded experience. It almost puts you in the movie itself. Um, Markets that movie for them. So it's just another way for them to use their marketing dollars
Yeah.
and reach more and more people. So I mean the crazy huge brands that are creating in Fortnite now, it's like, and it only just was released a couple of years ago, this software. So I really feel like that's just getting started and I'm very immersed in it. So I'm really hoping that I'm getting in at the right time. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You
Yeah.
get like I'm taking advantage of, okay, I see the potential here. Um, you know, so I'm trying to ride that wave and see where it takes me.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people give pretty similar responses to that. Like AI is here to stay. You
Hmm.
might as well adapt to it. You might as well use it for your benefit. Like you said, time is
Yeah.
money. So if you can make it work for you, why not? Like you might as
Right.
well educate yourself on it because it
Right.
I think it does really speed up workflows, like
Yeah.
if you know how.
Yeah, if you know how to like give it the right prompts and everything, it can definitely make your day-to-day work easier. That's what I've found. Um, I think I like I said, I've seen a lot of brands that are probably relying on it too much because it's very
Yeah.
obvious that they're using AI.
Yeah.
Um, so I think there's a fine line where you have to be careful and make sure that you're still bringing creativity in everything that you do and it's not copy and pasted and
Yeah. The human
um,
element.
human element exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not going to be able to replace the human element, or I mean, at
Right.
least right now I don't know where it's going to go, but
Yeah. Yeah.
at least where it's at right now, there's still, you need to, people talk about, losing your job to AI or whatever. So in order to do that, you got to still find ways to continually bring value to the table in what you do.
Mhm.
Because if you just rely on AI, your chat GBT built and no one's going to, think that you're any different than any other candidate. You know what I mean? If you,
Yeah. No,
if
that's
you
a great
don't
point.
actually bring true skills to the table and that human element. So
Yeah, that's a great point. Are there any particular AI tools that you really like using?
I really just use ChatGPT for my workflow and
Okay.
everything. I used for the marketing pitches for that tournament. I did use AI generated images
Okay.
because trying to explain to a brand, yeah, we're going to build a map for you in Fortnite. They don't know what that looks like. They don't know what does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
So I was able to get nice generated images of showing what their brand would look like in Fortnite in a map.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that visual was huge for those pitch decks. I wouldn't have been able to do it without AI, right? Like, I mean, I just wouldn't have been able to do it. So
Yeah.
I think there's definitely value in using it the right way.
Yeah. Wow, that's a I wouldn't have even thought to use it for something like that, but that's a
Yeah.
great example of a way to use it that's something that you couldn't have done. You're not going to draw it
Right.
out yourself but
Right.
you couldn't find a photograph of that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, because the only other way to show like the visual behind what a map would look like is to actually have the map built, and that's too much work. So
Right. Right.
for a pitch, you know what I mean? So
Right, or to try to make the graphics yourself, how long that would
yeah,
take, like, just yeah,
exactly. And I
yeah,
was able to do it, in a very short amount of time with, a pretty decent. I don't even remember which program it was now, actually, but yeah. So
mm,
kind of getting creative with it, and like I said, or like you said, it's here to stay. So
yeah,
can kind of work with it or work against it. And I think it's just
exactly,
easier to work with it,
right,
at least where we're at now with AI.
yeah, not be afraid of it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, thinking about just, like, marketing journey, social media marketing, if someone wanted to get started in a career like yours, looking back and learning from things you've done well, mistakes that you've
Yeah.
made, like, what advice would you give someone entering this field?
Yeah. I mean, entry level positions are great because you can just learn so much with all the tasks that you're thrown. So I was first hired as a marketing coordinator, which was great. That was where a lot of like the podcast stuff came in. I was able to set up guests and set up agendas and also finding, good content to like clip and post for the social media managers that I was working for. Yeah, I mean, if you can get in with like an entry level position, don't be afraid to do that. And also don't be afraid to just say, I'm willing to learn. I
Mm,
might not know this right now, but I am eager, willing to learn. And also just, even if, you don't see your end role, doing, so say I, was working on email sequencing, no, I don't, that's not what I want to do at the end of the day, but
yeah,
learning that, having that under my belt can help you get the next opportunity, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I just think have an open mind and, again, take in what knowledge you can from the people around you. Um, that's what's been invaluable is like, all right, learn from the people that have either the type of career that you want.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, don't be afraid to reach out for that mentorship.
It requires a level of humility, I think,
Mm,
for sure.
yes.
You don't know
Yeah, it
everything.
does. Yeah, because you do have to admit, like, I don't know everything. And especially in marketing, social media marketing, no one knows everything because it's
Yeah.
always changing. So it's okay to, not be aware of a certain trend that might be
Mm.
happening
Yes.
or like, a
Yep.
feature on Instagram that might be new and it's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing." But hey, it's okay. Teach me about it. Like, let's learn, let's use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does definitely take humility on that end.
Do you have any thoughts or advice or what's worked well for you on, going back to talking about burnout? Because, you mentioned like there's always something, it's a never ending to do list working in marketing,
Mhm.
especially social media. You're talking about how you're always working on it, even when you're on vacation. There's
Right.
always a new TikTok trend and
Yeah.
new audio sound to use. How do you avoid becoming super burnt out?
Yeah. I mean, you can't pour from an empty cup. Is that what the
Hmm.
saying is?
Yep.
You truly can't. So before I can give my best to my clients, I sometimes need to recharge. And
Yep.
I'm not afraid to admit that. I haven't been afraid to tell my bosses before, hey, if I don't like take the afternoon for myself, it's not going to be good. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and just also remembering at the end of the day, because it's easy to get stressed. And especially when you have clients that you have to keep happy and everything, at the end of the day, just tell myself sometimes nothing is ever that big of a deal.
Yes.
It's never that big of a
No
deal.
marketing emergency.
No, it's
Yep.
not. And it's not worth you losing your, mental sanity over
Hmm.
at the end of the day. And if you're finding yourself day after day burnt out, maybe it's time to move on. Maybe
Yeah.
there's something else that you should be um, looking into to do. Um, setting boundaries,
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's okay to set those boundaries because again, at the end of the day, if I am not fully charged for myself, my clients aren't going to get the best of what I have to offer. So that's really, you know, self-care isn't selfish.
Hmm.
It's actually a loving thing because you want to be able to bring the best to people in all respects of your life, right? You want to be able to be your best at any time. And sometimes it involves being selfish and caring for yourself
Yeah.
first.
Critical, even like critical when you reach that level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I have found myself just being like, I must turn my phone off. I must
Yes.
put on do not disturb. I don't care what notifications or chat messages or text messages are coming in. I have literally reached a point where I'm like, I cannot respond.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've definitely, of course, I've gone back now, but I've had times before where I've like completely turned off like my email notifications from a certain time to a certain time.
Yeah.
They're back on, but if I need to turn them off again, they will go off because
Yeah.
again, nothing's that urgent. Like it can wait till tomorrow or it can, it's okay. Like it's all gonna be all right.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good advice. Setting boundaries, taking care of yourself. I feel like that's
Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
Any final thoughts for us? Any
Um,
more beautiful
No,
words
this
for
was
us?
a nice little
I feel
conversation.
like it was.
Yeah,
How do
appreciate
we
it.
how does everyone find you? What are your
Yeah.
plugs? What are your socials?
Twitter is my main plug and it's
Okay.
Kayla Sue Media.
Okay.
So feel free to follow me on there. Yeah, that's my main social network. If I had to choose just one, I'd probably just keep Twitter. I know that sounds crazy, especially with Twitter
Yeah.
changes and stuff,
That
but
interests me a
yeah,
lot actually
I
because
know.
Twitter's one of the ones I fight hardest with.
Oh, I know. Well, you
Yeah.
know what I like about it so far is I don't get sucked down the rabbit hole of videos on there yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's kind of a good thing about it so far, but I'm sure that'll change. So
Okay. No, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like you can exit out of it easier.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
even on LinkedIn last night, and I'm like, I got sucked into their videos, and I was like, LinkedIn is not supposed to be video centric. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, you don't doom scroll as easily.
Yeah, I
Huh,
know.
that's a good point. Okay, well,
Yeah.
everyone go find Kayla on Twitter. Make sure you follow her.
Appreciate it.
This was awesome, Kayla. Thank
Good.
you. Thank you so much. I'd love to have you back again sometime.
Yeah,
I'm
for
sure everyone
sure.
else would too. So
Yeah,
thank
I'm kind of in a transitionary phase right now, so we'll see what my next opportunity is, and yeah, maybe we'll do a little follow up. We'll see.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so
Cool.
much for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll see everyone next time.
All right, see ya.
It's the end.
No, it's not. There's more.
There's always more.
Don't be sad. You can catch our full video interviews on our YouTube channel. Come find us.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends so that we're not sad.
And follow us on TikTok.
And Instagram.
It'll make your day happier, promise.
And we'll know if you do. Until next time.